Hello guys, welcome to the next video of Eduception. In this video we are going to solve the second section of ICSE 2017 Mathematics. You have to attempt any 4 questions from this section, and in this video we will be solving the first 3 questions from section B. So let's start. Question number 5a. Given matrix B equals this, find the matrix X if X equals B square minus 4B. Hence solve for A and B given that X AB, matrix AB equals 550, matrix 550. Okay, let's start. Let me first write the question for you. The question goes B equals 1813 and we have to find a matrix X if X equals B square minus 4B. Okay, first we have to find what is B square. Let's find that. B square will equal B cross B, that is 1813 into 1813. Okay, so we'll solve it by matrix multiplication, and it goes like this over here and this over here. Okay, we'll multiply each of the rows with each of the columns. Okay, this one into this one, that will be 1 into 1, that's 1, plus 1 into 8, that's 8, 1 1s are 1, 1 3s are 3, 8 1s are 8, and 8 3s are 24, 8 1s are 8, 3 3s are 9. Okay, and this is equal to 9, 4, 8 plus 24 equals 32, and 8 plus 9 equals 17. So this is our B square. Putting the value of B square in the equation, we will get X equals B square minus 4B. B square is 9, 32, 4, 17 minus 4 into B, and B is 1, 8, 1 and 3. So this will be 9, 32, 4, 17 minus 4, 32, 4 and 4 3s are 12. Okay, deducting it we will get 5 over here, 0 over here, 32 minus 32 is 0, 17 minus 12 is 5. Okay, so X equals this. Okay, write this over here, 5005. Okay, now we have something else in this question. So we have to solve for A and B given that X into AB equals 5 and 50 matrix. We have to just put this value over here, 5005, AB equals 550. Now this multiplication is possible. We'll multiply it this way, and this will be, please don't forget to give the implied sign. 5 into A, 5A, 0 0 0 0, 5B equals 550. Therefore comparing it we get, now we'll write over here, comparing both sides we get 5A equals 5, therefore A equals 1, and 5B equals 50, therefore B equals 10. Okay, so that's the answer. Question number B. This question is from shares and dividends. This is the easy question from that chapter. So the question goes, how much should a man invest in rupees 50 shares selling at rupees 60 to obtain an income of rupees 450 if the rate of dividend declared is 10%? Also find his yield percent to the nearest whole number. Okay, now what is yield percent? Yield percent is profit percent. So let's start solving this question. So let's write the details first. The face value FV equals rupees 50. The shares are selling at 20% premium. So the market value is rupees 60, that is given. The dividend percent, div percent equals 10%. Now according to the question, he has to obtain an income of rupees 450. Now to obtain an income of rupees 450, he has to obtain a dividend of rupees 450. So what is dividend? Dividend equals face value into number of shares n into dividend percent. Okay, so dividend, we have dividend 450, face value rupees 50. We have to calculate n, and the dividend percent is 10%, 10 by 100. Okay, so n equals 450 into 100 divided by 50 into 10. Okay, we will get 90. So he has to buy 90 number of shares. This is your first answer. Okay, now we have to also find his yield percent, that is his profit percent, to the nearest whole number. Now his profit or dividend is equal to rupees 450. Okay, he has bought 90 shares, n is equal to 90, and face value of each share and market value of each share is rupees 60. So total investment, total amount invested equals 60 into 90 is equal to rupees 5400. So this is his investment, this is his profit. So how to calculate profit percent? Profit percent or yield percent equal to profit divided by total money invested into 100, and that is equal to this. Solving this, we will get 54,450. How much? 54, I guess 8s are 5, 8 4s are 32, 8 5s are 40, 43, 432, that is 8, minus, we'll subtract it, we get 18, 0.3 over here, I guess, and we have to calculate it to the nearest whole number. The nearest whole number is 8, therefore the profit percent or the yield percent to the nearest whole number is 8%. Next question is 5C. 16 cards are labeled as A, B, C, D, E, F, you know, alphabets, I guess. They are put in a box and shuffled. A boy is asked to draw a card from the box. What is the probability that the card drawn is? Number 1, a vowel. Number 2, a consonant. Number 3, none of the letters of the word median. Let's write the details first. 5C. Total of 16 cards. Okay, 16 cards in total. Number 1, a vowel. Okay, so how many vowels are there from A to P? Vowels are A, E, I, O, U. Your language teacher taught you that in class 2 or 3, I guess. So we have every vowel still O but no U. Therefore we have A 1, E 2, I 3, O 4. Okay. So we have 4 vowels. Total vowels equals 4. Therefore probability prob equals 4 by 16. That is equal to 1 by 4. Okay, that's your first answer. Number 2, consonant. Now every letter which is not a vowel is a consonant. Therefore we have 4 vowels over here. So we will have 12 consonants. Therefore probability equal to number of consonants, that is 12, divided by total number of cards, that is 16. That will be equal to 3 by 4. 3 by 4 is your answer. Now third one. Third one is none of the letters of the word median. Now median, what is the spelling of median? M, E, D, I, A and N. Okay. So we have M over here, E over here, D, I, A and N. So all of these are in the 16 cards which we have. We have all of them. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Therefore total number of cards which do not have these letters will equal to 16 minus 6, that is 10. Therefore probability equals, so the question is asked none of the letters of the word median. So we have to answer the number of cards which are not median. So we have 10 cards. We have total of 16 cards. That will equal to 5 by 8. 5 by 8. That is your answer. Question number 6A. This is a question from construction. Now construction is very important in class 10. You will definitely get a sum of 4 marks or 5 marks from this. So let's start. Using a ruler and a compass, construct a triangle ABC in which AB equals 7 cm, angle CAB equals 60 degree and AC equals 5 cm. Now the first part is we have to construct the locus of points equidistant from AB and AC and points equidistant from BA and BC. And second part is hence construct a circle touching the 3 sides of the triangle internally. Now we have to do 2 things with a single triangle. Now we have to construct the locus of 2 lines and we have to construct a circle also. So we will make 2 different triangles. Let's start with the construction. Now I have already constructed two triangles for you. It will be easy for you to understand this way. 6a. Now this is a triangle. Now we have to construct AB with 7 centimeter. This is 7 centimeter. We have to construct a 60-degree angle. Now how do we construct a 60-degree angle? We take a compass, measure it till here, to the next side. Okay. We draw arc over here. This was the first arc. Take the same thing over here. We draw another arc, which is this one. We join both of them. This is the point, and we draw a line. So this will be 60 degree. Okay. Now we have been told here that AC is 5 centimeter. So we take a 5 centimeter point. This is 5 centimeter, and we join this. So this is the triangle. Now we have to construct the locus of points equidistant from AB and AC, and number 2 points equidistant from BA and BC. Okay, I'll construct one of them for you, and the next one you can do it yourself. It's quite easy. Now what is the locus of two lines? Okay, the locus of two lines is the line which intersects both the line. Okay, so making them is not quite hard. We take a similar arc, we make two cuts over here, and we cut them over here. Now pardon me for my compass, I don't have much use of compass right now. And we draw a line like this. Now this is the locus of the line of the point which is equidistant from AB and AC. Now similarly you can draw the locus of the points equidistant from BA, this one, and BC, this one. Okay, now we go to the second part of constructing a circle in the triangle. Now if you construct two triangles, it will be easy for you to construct a circle in that, and it will also be very neat and clean. So I suggest that you construct two different triangles if such types of questions appear in your question paper. Okay, so how to make a circle which touches all the three sides of the triangle internally. Now we have to construct a circle which is touching the triangle internally. Okay, how to do that? Take a compass. Now make an arc. Okay, I have a smaller arc over here. Bisect both of them, one over here, one over here. Okay, this one. Join them with a line. Similarly, the same thing over here, an arc. Bisecting over here, joining them. Now the point which we get here will be the center of the circle, and with the help of a compass, we'll make a circle. And most of the times it will touch all the three sides if you have constructed everything very neatly and nicely. Okay. Question number 6b. This question is for mensuration. Now mensuration is an easy topic if you remember all the formulas. So the question goes, a conical tent. Okay, this is a question from cones. A conical tent is to accommodate 77 persons. Each person must have 16 meter cube of air to breathe. Given the radius of the tent as 7 meter, find the height of the tent and also its curved surface area. So let's start. Now first let me make a cone for you. This is a cone. So we have been given the radius, that is 7 meter. We don't know the height, we don't know the slant height. Now what we have been given in the question is, we have to accommodate 77 person and each person must have 16 meter cube of air. So they are giving us the volume indirectly. So we have 77 persons and we have to calculate the volume with the help of air. Now each person needs 16 meter cube of air. So therefore total volume of the cone or conical tent will be equal to 77 cross 16 meter cube. This will be equal to 1232 meter cube. Okay, now so we have the volume now, 1232 meter cube, and the radius 7 meter. So we all know the volume of cone. The formula of the volume of cone is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square h. Okay, now you have to remember that this is a very important formula. So after solving this formula, we will get the value of height. let's start solving this. Equals 1 by 3, pi is 22 by 7 into r square, that is 7 into 7, and we have to find h. Therefore h will equal 1232 into 3 into 7 divided by 22 into 7 into 7. 7 goes over out, and this will be equal to 56, and it also goes by 7, 8. Now 8 3s are 24. It equals 24 meter. Therefore the height is 24 meter. This is the first answer. Now we have to also find the curved surface area. Now what is the formula of curved surface area? It equals to pi into r into L. Now what is L? L is the slant height. So let's calculate L first. Now L is equal to root over of h square plus r square. So h is 24, 24 square. Now what is 24 square? 24 square equals to 576 plus 7 square, that is 49. Now that will equal to 625, and we get 25 centimeter the slant height. So the curved surface area will be equal to pi, that is 22 by 7, into radius, that is 7, into slant height, that is 25, and 25 into 22 equals 550 meter square. This will be meter square because we have two entities, one is radius and one is slant height. Okay. Question number C. If 7m plus 2n onto 7m minus 2n equals 5 by 3, use properties of proportion to find number 1 m is to n, number 2 m square plus n square onto m square minus n square. This is a question from ratio and proportion. We have to use componendo and dividendo to solve this question. Using that property we can get both the answers from this. So let's start. So let's write the equation first. Equation is 7m plus 2n onto 7m minus 2n equals 5 by 3. Now we have to write over here using componendo and dividendo. Okay, mind your spellings. Okay, spellings are not important in mathematics, but it will give a good impression to the examiner. So what is componendo and dividendo? It is numerator plus denominator divided by numerator minus denominator, both the sides. So this will be equal to numerator plus denominator divided by numerator minus denominator. Now mind the signs. Okay, signs are important. Solving this further, we get 14m divided by 4n equals 8 divided by 5 minus 3 equals 2. 7 by 2 equals 4 by 1. Therefore 7m by 2n equals 4 by 1. Now cross multiplying it, we get m by n equals 2 4s are 8 divided by 7. Therefore the first answer will be m is to n equals 8 is to 7. This is your first answer. Now let's continue solving it to calculate the second answer. Now what we have to calculate in the second part? It is m square plus n square divided by m square minus n square. Okay. Now using this value, we bring it over here. Value is m by n equals 8 by 7. Now what we will do over here? We will square it first. Okay. Squaring both sides. We get m square by n square is equal to 8 square 64, 7 square 49. Okay. Now applying the same thing over here, applying componendo and dividendo. What was componendo and dividendo? Numerator plus denominator onto numerator minus denominator equals numerator plus denominator onto numerator minus denominator. And the thing, we have to calculate this thing. So this will be equal to 64 plus 49. 64 plus 49 equals 113 divided by 64 minus 49, which is equal to 15. So this will be our second answer. Okay. Next question, 7a. Now with this question there also comes some good news for you. This question is not in your syllabus. This came last in 2017 and will not come any further. Without solving the first question of this section, we will move on to question number B. So this question is, use a graph paper for the question. Okay, so plot the following points A, B, C and D. Reflect points B, C, D on y-axis and write down their coordinates further and further. Join the points this and that. Okay, so for this question you will probably need a graph paper. I have a graph paper with me. First of all, we will plot a few points. Okay, now point number A, 0, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is A. Point B, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is point B. Point C is 1, 1, 1, 1. This is 1, 1. C. And point D is 2, 0. 1, 2 and 0. Okay, now here it is already mentioned that you have to take the scale 2 centimeters is equal to 1 unit. So I have taken that scale in this question. Now you have to write the scale over here. 2 centimeters equal 1 unit on both x and y axis. Okay, write it properly, and this is very important. If you don't write this, it will cost you 1 mark. Okay, so first question is done. Second question, reflect points B, C, D on y-axis and write down their coordinates. Okay, by y-axis. This is y-axis. Now we will reflect them. Now what is reflection? We will take the point, we will measure the distance from y-axis, and in the similar distance we will point the coordinates here, this side. So it is 2 points away, so it will be here. This is first, this is second. This is B dash, the image of B dash, and C dash, this is here, so the image will be here, C dash, and D is over here. Sorry, I did not plot that. D is over here and the image will be over here, D dash. So this is our second question. What does third question say? Join the points A, B, C, D, D dash, C dash, B dash and A in order so as to form a closed figure. Write down the equation of the line of the symmetry of the figure formed. Okay, so let's join the points. First is AB. AB, BC, this is BC, CD, this is C and D, D dash. Okay, D dash is already joined. D dash, C dash, this is D dash and C dash, C dash and B dash, C dash and B dash, and B dash A. So the figure is something like this. This looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It looks like a kite. Yes. So this is the figure. Now we have to find the line of symmetry. Now it is very clear. It is very clear that the line of symmetry is the y-axis. This is the line of symmetry. So y-axis is the line of symmetry. You can write it over here. Question number 3. Y-axis is the line of symmetry. And we have to also write the equation. Now what is the equation of y-axis? The equation of y-axis is very easy. It is x equals 0. This is the equation of y-axis. So here comes the end of this question. Now I will tell you a few points you have to remember while doing this type of questions on graphs. Okay. First of all, you have to write the scale. Second, keep it very neat and clean. Third, no need to give this 1, 2 and 3 on all. You have to only put a line over here. That will say everything. And okay, that's fine. And yes, write the question number. Okay, it's 7B. Don't forget to write the question numbers. Okay, thank you.